Just because you're doing a lot of good stuff for it and not getting rewarded for it doesn't mean you will not be rewarded in the future. We never seem to question the direction of our lives when we're doing things about it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Abundant Thinking, the podcast that helps you take your mindset from ordinary to extraordinary. We're outside today, as you guys can see. I wanted to feel out how setting up a camera, setting up some lighting, setting up the microphone would be outside. I've never done it before. However, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm excited. I'm gonna see how it turns out. And I want to just talk to you guys about something today, kind of more of a raw talk and just something that's been on my mind, but something that I think you guys really need to hear and something that I think I need to hear sometimes as well. So it'll be nice for me to refer to this whenever I get in periods of low moods. So the thing that I wanted to talk about was the idea that we never seem to question the direction of our lives when we're doing things about it, when we're actually taking action. What do I mean by this? I have had so many instances in my life where I felt like I was lost and I felt like the direction that I was going was leading me nowhere. And I was always trying to be very conscious when I was in these periods because I was like, okay, what's the answer? Like, what's the thing? What's the silver bullet? And I found out that when I was doing something that felt meaningful to me, when I was doing something that I knew I should be doing, because I think a lot of times we know the thing that we should be doing, but we just don't do it, that's when things felt easier for me. And that's when I stopped questioning my direction. A good example of this is for those of you guys that don't know, I have a community on school. And a lot of times I spent thinking about, okay, how am I going to make it better? Like, I'm worried it's not doing good. It's not performing to how I want it to perform. And all of these worries were flooding into my head. And I realized that the second I started just doing the work, taking the action, fixing the things I knew I needed to fix, that's when these thoughts just started to go away, like completely go away. I want you guys to think about, are you doing the thing? Are you somebody, at the end of the day, I think it's normal to think to yourself very quickly, like a thought passing over your head, thinking, am I doing the thing? And you think to yourself, yeah, today was a good day. It's a quick thought. When you have these repeated thoughts of, am I doing the right thing? I think it's a good indicator that you aren't. And I can't say this for everybody because there's not many things that I can say as far as mindset that applies to every single person. So I can't say that, okay, if this is how you're thinking, then 100% you need to stop thinking this way and do the action because I think we doubt ourselves a lot. And that's why I say at the end of the day, if you are thinking about these things, did I put in the work? Did I win the day? Am I moving myself into the right direction? That's okay when it's for a short period of time. But when you're constantly tormented by these thoughts and these ideas, and every hour you're thinking, I'm not being productive. I'm not doing the thing. What if this isn't the right thing? It's a good indicator that it might not be the thing for you guys. When we work our hardest, when we put in all that we can in a single day, we never question whether or not we're going into the right direction or not because we've put in all the input that we possibly can. The output that you get, right, this goal, you say to yourself, am I doing the right thing? Well, for you, doing the right thing is an input to the eventual goal that you have, right? Your goal might be, I don't know, start a company, maybe a side hustle, right? Whatever it may be. But that's the output. So you say, am I doing the right thing? And for you, doing the right thing might be working towards your business or, becoming financially free. That's something I hear a lot of these days. But we're going to use that as an example, right? So if you're saying, am I doing the right thing? And you know that your goal is to become financially free, then you know at the end of the day whether or not you push yourself closer to it. You know. And I kind of love this because it's very intense. It's a very intense opinion, but nobody's going to tell you what to do and you can fake it all you want, but at the end of the day you're going to know how you did. You're going to know if you could have put in a little bit more. And I'm not saying you can't take breaks. I think breaks are extremely important. I think you can't just be a robot 24/7, but think to yourself, did you do the things you said you were going to do, and did you do them to the best of your ability? I think when you work hard towards your goal and you push yourself to be the person you know you want to be and put in all the inputs, do all the hard work, you are never going to question if you're moving into the right direction because you subconsciously know you are. Like I talked about my school community, I think it's important for you guys to understand that there's a lot of periods of doubt and there's a lot of periods where I think to myself that the thing I'm doing isn't correct. I'm not heading into the right direction. And then I realize the only reason I think this way is because I'm not even doing the thing. I'm just thinking about it. And thinking about it is not doing the thing. Going back to my example that I was talking about, one of my favorite things, kind of continuing on, is the fact that somebody else can fake everything. They can say that I did all the work today. I did everything I had to, and I'm pushing myself closer to who I want to be. And everybody is going to believe them, every single person, but they know that this is a facade and they know that this is not the reality. So I want to ask you guys a hypothetical question on both extremes, right? On one end, you have, do you want to be the guy that tells everybody how hard they work but never get anything done, and in turn, not have confidence and always wonder if they're going into the right direction because they're not doing anything to begin with? Or on the other end of the spectrum, would you want to be the person that never tells anybody that they're doing something, never talks about things, but always gets the work done and never questions their direction in life because they know for a matter of fact that they're going to hit their goals no matter what? They're putting in the inputs and in turn they are going to get the outputs. Now, chances are you're going to fall into the middle of that spectrum or somewhere in between, right? You're not going to be the extreme end. But I want you guys to think about this. If you're somebody who likes to flaunt and likes to tell other people how hard they work, but they never do the work, it's okay. But you guys need to realize that you need to turn one way or another, because the price you pay for being able to tell every single person that, hey, I'm doing this thing but never getting any work done, is you are going to live the rest of your life miserable. You're not going to get to your goals, and you're also not going to have anything to show for all the work that you've been doing. Because guess what, after you've told your friends for 5 years in a row that, listen, I've been putting in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hour days on my business every day, your friends are gonna start wondering, okay, you're doing that, but like, why aren't you making any money? Why aren't you doing this thing? But then the person that keeps their head down doesn't talk about it too much, and then eventually pops up and it's like, hey, listen, all this hard work that always went unnoticed, it's getting noticed now. And you're getting what you asked for. You're getting what you worked so hard for. You want to be the person who does things, not the one who is seen to do things. You can put up a front all you want, but I think eventually people's motives, people's desires, and the things that people see get revealed. I always say these words to myself, the fact that your intentions are always clear, whether you realize it or not. If you're getting into a business just to make money and somebody else is getting into a business just to help people, who do you think is going to win? I love these ideas a lot because I think it allows me, and it has allowed me to see different perspectives and different versions. A lot of people are not fans of quotes because people use them all the time, but they never really have much meaning to them. Like, people repeat quotes, but they don't live the quotes. So when I say things like, you want to be the one who does things, not the one who is seen to do things, it's a really good frame of mind for me to be able to snap out of something, right? If I'm ever doing something and I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to post about this. This is pretty cool. I think to myself, okay, I want to be the person who does things, not the one who's seen to do things. What is the ratio? Like, how much of the thing have I actually done? Do I want to show people just to seem cool, or do I want to show people because I've spent 10 hours working on this thing? Do I want to be proud of it? And this is something internal. You have to understand yourself to do this. Whoever's listening, you know why you do things and the intentions of why you do things. You can lie all you want, you can pretend something is one way when it's not, but at the end of the day, you are building your character. And in my opinion, if you are going to try to get away with things, if you're going to try to take the easy route and you want to be someone who gets applauded for things that don't deserve an applause, you're building bad characteristics, bad morals, and also very bad habits for yourself. And the thing is, these are unobservable metrics because you're not going to be able to understand this. But there will come a day, poetic justice, if you will, a new term I learned thanks to Anthony, my last guest. There will come a day where all of the bad stuff you've done, all of the bragging that you have put upon everybody else will come into fruition and you're going to get payback, or the payback's going to be back on you, if you will. That's why I always believe in doing good things. I totally believe that the better things you can do, first of all, for your virtues and your morals, are amazing. They help you stay disciplined and they help you have integrity when you put yourself in those situations. When I take a picture of something that I did, the first thing I think about is for my integrity. It's, okay, I'm showing this to other people. Am I living it or am I just showing it? I know this conversation went a little bit off track in a way, but I'm going to bring this back. I think the characteristics that you show are going to be how you want others to perceive you and your reality. I think it's a little bit it's a dualistic nature of it, right? You have on one end of the spectrum, you have who you say you are, and on the other end, you say who you are. And in my opinion, you want these to be as close to each other as possible. You want to say who you are and do what you say. You don't want to say, listen, I raised $1 million for this special foundation that helps kids, but then you never did that. That's going to be very far away from each other because you're not saying who you are and you're not doing what you say. You're lying completely. And back to what we were talking about, the idea of the direction of your life. If you act positively, if you act your virtues and your morals and you have high integrity and you say who you are and you do the things that you know you have to do, you're not going to question these things. Not only are you going to be a good person at heart because you actually have integrity, not saying you're a good person. There's a difference between saying you donated money and actually donating money. And one of my biggest goals, actually, I want to share this with you guys, is I want to help people more and I want to do things for others without asking for anything in return. I want to just do things and not want anything back. It's not like, "Hey, I gave this to you, now you gotta give something back to me." Literally just today, I found a debit card on the ground and in Chicago, and the first thing I did is I picked it up and I looked at this guy's name and I called somebody with the same last name. I just tried getting in contact. I really tried to get somebody, and, you know, there's two types of people. There's going to be the person that picks it up and tries to get it to its rightful owner, or there's going to be the person that picks it up and spends with it. And here's the thing, the difference between these two people, I don't think is very big, right? It's just how you act. Because guess what? I could be in the situation right now and I am going to pick it up and everything's going to be good. But imagine I had no money and I needed to pay rent. If in 5 minutes, right, I knew my rent was due, I owed $200 and I found a debit card on the floor, right? Guess what? Guess how I'm going to act? That's a whole other discussion. That's the idea that morals are a privilege, which I think is very interesting. So if you guys want me to talk about that, let me know. But okay, morals are a privilege. You guys need to understand that. However, your morals play into who you are, and if you can positively act in the way that you know you are, and do the things like I mentioned that you said you are going to do and know you have to do, you're not going to question the direction of your life because you are turning yourself into the ideal person. You're becoming exactly who you want to be. If I say I want to be a philanthropist, I want to be an entrepreneur, and I work towards those things every single day, I'm not going to question where I am in my life because I'm working on I'm doing something. I'm too busy with my head down. Wake up and I live it and I live it and I live it and I keep doing it. I think for the people that really, really put in work and really try their best to be the most virtuous and caring, amazing people, they find their way. And that's something I've noticed talking to a lot of my guests is they realize that eventually it all comes into fruition. All of your bad stuff or all of your good stuff, it doesn't matter. And just because you're doing a lot of bad stuff right now and not getting punished for it doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future. And likewise, just because you're doing a lot of good stuff for it and not getting rewarded for it doesn't mean you will not be rewarded in the future. I read a good quote today. I'm paraphrasing, but it said, "The world belongs to the people who can do their work without expecting anything in return, who don't do this thing and expect a linear reward back to them. It's not like I do this and this is how much I should get, or I do this and this is what you should do for me." It's like, why not give it a try and see if you did it for free or you did it without asking? Maybe something good's going to happen. A lot of times for entrepreneurial advice, I hear people say, listen, start working for free and gain the skills. Well, why do you guys think this works so well? Because you get all the other person's skills and they don't have to pay you for it, right? They're happy to help you, but they don't, like, it doesn't take away from their business. Ladies and gentlemen, we never seem to question the direction of our life when we know we're putting in work, when we know we're doing the thing. I want you guys, as an action step right now, to write something down that you could do to help better yourself. Whether that's going to the gym, maybe going to jujitsu, working on the thing, reading a book, it doesn't matter. Do action. It's not about watching the video, it's about actually doing the thing. Maybe take some notes when you read. But I want you guys to write down one thing you can do for 30 minutes, right? And work towards it. Comment down below what that thing for you is going to be. Reach out for me if you need help, please. I'm available if you guys ever need me. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. This is the 98th episode of Abundant Thinking. We're approaching 99, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.